All right, friends, our next video that we're going to go over is our lesson on solving multi-step equations. In our last video, it only took one step to get to the final answer, but now we have to juggle more than one thing at a time. So, looking at the directions, they say solve the following equations and make sure to show all your work. The right answer is 1 point. The work is where the majority of the points lie. So we're going to start this just like we do every other solving, and we're going to look for this equal sign. Number 1, it says 2x minus 1 equals 11. Again, this is minus because it's between two things. So where the equal sign is, I'm going to put that dotted line. I'm going to make it a little bit longer because I did tell you that this is multi-step. We're going to be doing more than one line because we're going to do more than one operation. All right. When I do a problem like this, I see where my x is. I like to put a box around the x and whoever he's touching. All right. So we have add, subtract, divide, the ones that you can see, and multiply the one you cannot. So usually when you do any kind of math, there's PEMDAS, order of operations, which tells me PEMDAS, the order of which you should do things. You should do parentheses first, then exponents, then multiplying and dividing, and adding and subtracting last. This is if I just gave you a bunch of numbers or integers and asked you to do some math to it. You would look for parentheses first, power second, multiply, divide third, and adding and subtracting. When you're solving, you go backwards. You start with getting rid of your adding and subtracting, then you're multiplying and dividing, then your exponents, and finally your parentheses, because those are the most important or powerful, if you will, in order of operations. I understand it can get confusing, but the more we do, the easier it'll become. So here's our variable. Our variable controls the problem. Our variable here is on the left side, which means everything on the left side that is not an x needs to move over here. I put this box around this too because that is the multiplying, the invisible one that we can't really see. And we're going to save that for last. So I need to get rid of this minus 1 first. And I can even cover up. There's the variable side. I want to get rid of the intruder here, this minus 1. So to get rid of minus, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. When I'm ready to do the math, I make my little line to say do the math. The 2x is going to drop. Nothing is affecting it right now. Minus 1 plus 1 cancel each other out, and it's going to equal 11 plus 1, which is 12. Now this is a great problem because this is like the ones from the other video. It's a one-step equation. I have 2x equals 12. I don't see add. I don't see subtract. I don't see a fraction. I see the invisible dot. So now 2x equals 12. I'm going to get rid of the 2 by doing the inverse, which is divide. If I do that to this side, I have to do it to this side, and now it's time to draw the line and do the math. 2 times divide by 2, our inverses and cancel each other out, and x is going to equal 12 divided by 2. You can do it in a calculator, or you can see how many groups of 2 fit into 12. It should be 6. Just to double check, I'm going to do a little mental math. 6 in here would be 2 times 6, which is 12. Take away 1, which would be 11. All right, let's go to number 2. It looks very similar to it, nothing crazy. I have 3 minus 5m equals 18. So I'm going to dot. Here's the m. It's attached to the 5, and there's a minus there. So I'm going to group them all together and say, hey, who is not part of them that I need to get rid of? This 3 is floating out front here. This 3 is a positive 3. Between them is minus, I understand that, but the 3 is positive. There's nothing there. 3 is not getting multiplied. It is positively with him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract that 3 because a positive 3 can get inversed with a negative 3. So I'm going to do that. because my next line, that 3 should go away. This, it was a minus, but now it's a negative because the 3 is gone and it's not between. And that's okay, that happens sometimes. Nothing is affecting him yet, so he comes down. If I have $18 and I owe $3, I have $15 to spare. Now, I don't see an add. I don't see a minus. I do see a negative, but not a minus. It's not between. That 3 is gone. We got rid of that 3. I don't see divide. I do see I could fit a dot, which means it's multiply. So I am going to divide by that -5. This -5 divided by this -5, they match, so they both get rid of each other completely, and m is left over on the left. Now, 15 divided by -5, I can do right in my calculator, or I can see how many groups of 5 fit into 15. 5 goes into 15 3 times. And then I see I have one negative. And remember, we have positive times positive equals positive, positive times negative equals negative, negative times positive equals negative, and negative times negative equals positive. There's 2 cases where it's negative, where you have different signs, and these are different signs, so it's -3. Okay, I'm going to do the next 2, and then I'm going to show you that for 5, 6, 7, and 8, they are going to each match up to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So by far, 3 is the most intense one. There's an equal sign here, so I'm going to do my dotted line. Now let's chit chat. A fraction has both multiplying and dividing. Ultimately, I don't like a fraction. I know you probably don't love fractions either. So the first thing I notice is that I have a fraction 4. So to get rid of a fraction means divide, and divide is inverse of multiplying. So I'm going to multiply by the bottom, and don't worry about that 3. That's number 3. Multiply by the bottom on both sides. So I multiplied by 4 here, and I multiplied by 4 here. Balance, very important. So this 4 and this 4 cancel out, and I have 3x equals 6 times 4. Go right to your calculator and do it, or else you can do some mental math here. 4 groups of 6 would give me 24. Now it's back to a 1 step. They all come back to 1 step once you get rid of at least one of them. 3. Remember, I don't see plus, I don't see subtract, I don't see a fraction anymore. The only thing I can fit is a little dot there, so it's multiply. So you will do divide. So this 3 and this 3 cancel out, and I get x equals, I can turn to my handy-dandy calculator. I can go to Desmos graphing calculator or Desmos scientific calculator. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Fantastic. I'm going to do one more with you here, and then I'm going to have you guys try them, and I'm going to give the answer just so you can see all the steps for it. So I'm going to put the dot, 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 dot. There are 2 ways that you can approach this problem. Whenever I see a parenthesis, I get very excited because it's one of my favorite things to do in math, called the distributive property. So I am going to, again, I like the side that has the variable. The variable could be on the left, it could be on the right, but right now it's on this side here, which I love when it's on the left. Everybody does, I think. But this has a parenthesis, and a parenthesis is my favorite property, the distributive property. This is 4, not just times x, but 4 times x and 6, both of them. The distributive property tells me to multiply this 4 out to everything in the parenthesis. So 4 times x will give me 4x. And 4 times positive 6 will give me positive 24. And this little equal to Nothing's happening to him, so equal to just drops. If nothing happens, just bring him along for the ride. We'll deal with him later, okay? All right, here is my 4x. Looking at that side, that 24 is my intruder. I need to get rid of it. So I'm going to do the opposite of plus, which is minus 24. Minus 24. Keep it balanced. 4x is going to drop. 24 and 24 are going to cancel. Equal sign on that dotted line to make it a little bit bigger. If I have $2 and I owe 24, again, use your calculator if need be. This 2 is positive. This is negative or minus because it's between the 2 and the 24. It should be negative 22. Oh no, Ms. Freibush knows that this is not going to work out nicely. That's okay. I'm going to need my calculator for this one. 4x. This has a dot. I don't see add, subtract, or divide, so I know it's the dot. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. This will cancel with this, and x is going to equal, I'm going to go to my calculator on my phone and see what's going on here. So my calculator on my phone, I'm going to do 22, and I have a negative sign right there, divided by 4, and I'm going to hit enter, and I get negative 5.5. Okay. If you would like to leave it like this, you can as well. So I'm going to quick just show you that each of these partners up with somebody at the bottom. So number 5 is just like number 1. They're besties. Just like him. And, oh, this one has a fraction. This guy's like number 3. They're partners. And then number 7 has the parentheses, just like number 4 does. It's a little taller. And then finally, number 8 has the variable close to the equal sign, like number 2. So I'm going to press pause for a minute in my recording, and I'm going to ask you guys to try your best to look at number 1 and try and replicate that for number 5. Look at number 2 and try and replicate that for number 8. 3 is just like 6, and 4 like 7. I'm going to press pause, and I want you to press pause and do it as well. All right, I hope you pressed pause, and I hope you tried them. I'm going to give you the answers to 5, 6, 7, and 8. So number 5 was very similar to number 1. I had to get rid of this intruder first, and then divide, and I got p equals 6. Number 6 was very similar to this one with the fraction number 3, which I had canceled him out, and I had to get rid of him too. 2/5. I got rid of the bottom first, so I multiplied by 5. And then I divided by the 2, and I got x equals negative 5. And finally, for number 7, it was very much like the parenthesis here for number 4. I distributed out the negative 9 first. Then I added 18, divided by negative 9, and I got k equals negative 6. And finally, for number 8, which is like number 2, I added the 3, divided by the negative 7, and I got t equals negative 4. If you didn't get any of these 4 that you were supposed to try, I would highly recommend going to see your teacher to go over it. All right, good luck with solving multiple stepped equations.